Joined now by a repeat guest on Kings of the North. I can't believe you came back, frankly, PJ. PJ Fleck, head coach of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Thank you for being here.
Oh, honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
We think the Big Ten is going to be a meat grinder. So, good luck, man.
I appreciate that. Thanks. Have a good time.
We're just laying out there for everybody. We get very wound up sometimes about we think the level of football in the North and in the Big Ten is very high. I get wound up about do people perceive it correctly? Do people understand how many good teams are out there? What do you? Who cares what we think? What do you think of this conference right now, 1 through 18? How good's the ball?
Oh, I think it's the best conference in the country. I think we've proven that the last few years with national championships. I think with the 9 conference games, every single game you're playing is a battle. It is an absolute battle. You better be good in one possession games. You better understand football. Your team better be really smart and educated because it's always going to come down to the wire. And then the later you get in November, everything changes. The weather changes, winds change, game plans have to change based necessarily on weather, depending on what it's going to look like. I think it's really, really difficult. And the recruiting's getting better and better, and the coaches are getting better and better. And it's same with the players. So I think it's a battle every single week.
Yeah.
You mentioned recruiting, and I know some of this you can't talk about in specific, so I'll ask it generally. You have Coy Parrish here with you, who was once the #1 player in Minnesota. You have a couple of other #1 players in the state of Minnesota who have committed to you guys. Just the response you're getting in your own state to your program now, where would you say it is compared to where it was when you took the job?
It's a great question. Before we got here, there were 6 head coaches in 12 years. And I remember taking the Minnesota job, and I said, whether it's me or somebody else, somebody's going to have to stay here a long time to get this place to where our fans want it to be. We're on year 9. That's still not a long time, in my opinion, right? We just signed a new contract, so we're really excited about that and honored to have that. But the cultural sustainability is critical to get in-state talent to stay. We're now getting kids committed to us in-state that were at our little kids camp when they were 6 years old. That's when we talked about it's really peeling back the onion and look behind the curtain of how do you get that done? We started with the little kids camp. I didn't know I was going to be here 9 years. I could have been fired after 3 years, but it had to start there. It had to be all the chips in. How you like that in Vegas? All of our chips in on investment into kids growing up Gophers. And if we weren't going to be able to invest in kids growing up Gophers, then we give them options to be Hawkeyes, to be Badgers, to be Bison, to be whatever they want to be. But we wanted them growing up Gophers. So we had to be able to hit that market of 6, 7-year-olds and make sure those kids are coming to our camp. And a lot of guys that we're having now committed, we're at our little kids camp, which is huge. And I'm not saying it was just a kids camp, but it took the cultural sustainability that a coach was going to stay there. There's an identity, there's a culture, there's familiarity, there's proof. I think you need that.
I don't know if I heard a head coach talk about recruiting 7-year-olds before, man. Dude, you're thinking next level here, PJ. But
I haven't offered them, but we did.
Yeah.
But
the kids camp is a recruiting tool. Absolutely.
You're planting seeds. I do think what happens sometimes is you have kids grow up in an area, and a kid might think to himself, for me to achieve my goals, I must leave. There is not an opportunity here for me. With where this program is in Minnesota, with the structure of the sport and the expanding opportunity, I would imagine those type of things, what you're talking about, planting seeds and having kids want to grow up Gophers, but I think that must be part of it too.
Well, it's all about finding the right fit. I need to find 25 to 30 young people who fit the life program model, period. Now, we're a transformational program, but that does not mean that there's not transactions a part of the transformational program.
Right.
But we have to find the kids that value all the things that we value, that we feel's right. I love when coaches say, well, he values the right things. Well, what's the right things to you, to me? We all have a different opinion of that, right? When you look at when kids come to Minnesota, this is a great statistic. In the last 6 years, we've had a first or second round draft pick. There's only 8 schools in America that have had a first or second round pick 6 straight years, and we're one of them. So you can come to Minnesota. You can go be a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever you want to do. You're going to be held accountable on and off the field. Sure, you can make money, but what people aren't talking about is the education behind all that. We educate our players through our Go for Life program, from tax classes to money management, to all types of things with our team. We do date night and dinner etiquette, and bringing back chivalry. I mean, it's fantastic. But again, that takes time and that takes commitment. So it takes a certain type of player to want that, instead of just saying, hey, I'm getting paid to play ball. That's all I want to do. This is an immersive life experience that's still done at the collegiate level, which again makes us a little bit out there.
I just we've been talking a lot since we've been here in Vegas about what Doug asked you off the rip, about the depth in the Big Ten, just how strong this conference has become top to bottom. And when we had that conversation, I think about Minnesota. I think about the culture you guys have there, the market, the possibilities that exist at a major college football program in a major city like that. It's there's a handful of them in all the entire sport. Like, what you've been able to build over these 9 years is very impressive. Where would you like to see it continue to go? Now you have this new deal, this extension you just signed. So what are the targets as you look forward?
Yeah, the great thing about it is what the standard is, always raise the expectations. I mean, my job is to make sure I raise an expectation that one day people are looking at me, I can't even reach my own expectation. I mean, that's what you are hired to do as a head football coach. And that's why a lot of us don't survive that long, because you outgrow your own expectations, right? Amongst your families. Sure. That's what you want to do. That means you're heading in the right direction. We want that. Now, what we're proud of is over the last 8 years, right, we have the highest winning percentage in 75 years as a staff, all the way back to Bernie Beerman, right? Who they named buildings after. So we are doing it, and it's not overnight, but this is cultural sustainability over a period of time where we can continue to do it, and we can continue to change and raise the expectations, where now it's 8-9 wins and our fans are like, but I love that piece. We were 3-4 in one possession games this year. We missed the last second field goal at North Carolina. We recovered an onside kick, but called offsides against Michigan in field goal range.
Remember that.
And a 4th and 3 against Penn State. We go 6-1 in those one possession games, just like we did in 2019. So it's not like it's unobtainable. We're in the college football playoff.
Sure.
We are right there at almost every year. And that's what I love about being the head coach at Minnesota and changing the narrative around our state.
I think you stick around long enough. Bernie Beerman's in your sights, man.
I'm not worried about.
I can imagine.
He's a legend, man. He's a legend. I just made a stat to be able to show.
Now I'm stuck on Fleck Hall. I want to walk in Fleck Hall one day. So you just got to stick around.
Well, the standards can't be very high to get in there. That's for sure.
What determines those tight games? Is it the bounce of the ball? Is it luck? Is it something that you and your staff are, hey, we succeeded in those close games in 1 year and last year. But where do you find? That's a thing. Find the inches, right? How do you find the inches? Is there an actual method to it, or is it actual luck sometimes?
You're right with all of it. It takes all of it. The ball is not round, right? Weather is a huge part of what we do and what the games are based on. There's a lot of things that are in your control and out of your control. But to win one possession games, in my opinion, your players have to think like coaches. They have to understand 4-minute, 2-minute, the integral parts of all the things you have and all the processes you have in place to win those situations. And that's the only thing you can control. I can't sit there and go to my team and say, hey, we're going to be really good at one possession games this year, period. That doesn't make any sense. Sure. We can do that, but how are we going to do that? We're going to work on 4-minute way more. We're going to be way more educated in situational football. We're going to really work on 2-minute to exhaustion. Because those are the things in close games that help you go win those games.
Okay.
Offensively, last year, you guys got to a point where I think you said we're going to start throwing it to run it. And Minnesota, I think, for as long as I've been watching college football, sort of been defined by physicality. We're going to run the ball first, and everything else kind of comes after that. As you assess your roster now going into this season, what do you think the identity might be? Well,
it just depends on how well our offense does with a redshirt freshman quarterback. And it's not about the redshirt freshman quarterback. It's not about Drake Lindsay. Everybody has a role, and you saw that last year. We had to adapt to Max Brosmer and what his strengths were. Well, Darius Taylor caught 54 balls at the running back position. Mohamed Iber had one catch maybe in 4 years. We never threw the ball to the running back. And part of a good system and a good program and good coaches is, can you adapt to the personnel that you have, create schemes and plays that fit their styles. And we have a lot of playmakers, and it's going to come down to them making our redshirt freshman quarterback better. And that's where we've put that pressure on them to be able to create those explosive plays. And we have to be balanced. But I think a lot of people think balance is 50-50. It's not. Balance to us means, can you do what it takes to win that particular game? Meaning, if we have to throw the ball 80% of a certain game to win, can you do that to win?
Yeah.
Because that's what it's going to take to win this football game. And if you have to run it 80%, can you do that?
Yeah.
Can you put the ball down at 6.5 minutes to go with a lead of 5 points and finish on offense? Those are the things we're looking at and evaluating out of our offense.
He's PJ Fleck. He's a king of the North.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Appreciate that.
We'll look forward to watching the Gophers and talking about them. And thanks again for your time on KOTN.
Thanks for having us. Row the boat, Sky Mile, go Gophers. Thanks.